Hi, my name is Kevin Fitzpatrick from the Cnesta Group, and we're going to take a little different approach today. Not focused on me or my company, but focused on things that we learn to value or need to learn to value every day. And that's people and that's relationships. And I want to do that by telling a story. Obviously, I'm a very, very passionate Eagles fan, which is great this week since we're in the Super Bowl. And go Birds. I believe we can and will win the day on Sunday. You can tell by my very nasal accent, I'm originally a Delco kid. But all of that ties into why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. And I'm going to tell you a story. 25 years ago, I met an individual. He was my neighbor. He was building a house, and I just moved into my house in Morrisford, PA. His name is Tim Logan. And we struck up a very, very strong friendship, and a strong friendship that extended to our families and beyond. And last week, we had our 191st tailgate. Think about that, 191 tailgates. Over that period of time, we have our second short bus. We have Eagles upholstery. We have a bathroom in it. We empty that bathroom, no disrespect, but into 5-gallon Dallas Cowboy buckets just to keep moving. But what I wanted to do is there were 4 of us that are on the bus together. Our tailgates range anywhere from 25 to 60 people at every game. But one of the reasons I'm wearing this sweatshirt is I thought about this. And I thought about it, what makes it special? Not because we're Eagles fans, but we have people from all walks of life that come together from different parts in the tri-state area. We all come together with that shared passion. But the person that really leads the charge is Tim Logan. And even though the 4 of us are part of the tailgate and running it, Tim really pulls it all together. He's the glue. And we embrace and put our arms around and embrace anyone that comes by. And very often there are people from opposing teams that are in our tailgates. Now, of course, they get the requisite jabs that one should receive if they come to an Eagles tailgate and they're not rooting for our team. But we embrace and we bring everyone in because we recognize that everyone has value. Everyone has a story to tell. About 4 games into the season, I met a young man who was coming through the parking lot. Now, the joke at our tailgate, quite frankly, is if a T-shirt guy comes along, someone go get Kevin. Because, quite frankly, Eagles T-shirt from tailgates is probably half my casual wardrobe. And I met this guy, Keith is his name, and it was right after, it was about 10 games ago. And he shows up and he had this creative approach to hoodies. I don't know the process he uses, but his name is, shout out to Keith Wardrow at Tattoo Threads 215. And every game he makes a custom hoodie, something that goes on. The one that caught my eye in that first day was a tribute to Nick Foles. And then the one after that was a tribute to Saquon Barkley when he did his backward jump on the field. Then the next one was to the defense. And then the one after that was when Saquon broke through 2,000 yards. Everyone is different. Everyone is colorful front and back. And Keith and I started to strike a friendship. Keith and his partner, I believe his name is Jamel. And Keith would say, what do you think of this idea? How do we do this? Keith and I never met before. We come from completely different worlds. And because we had a common ground, none of that mattered. What mattered was that common ground, and we immediately set up mutual respect. I now have 8 different hoodies from Keith. Why do I need 8 hoodies? Of course not. Do I wear them all the time? Absolutely. Are they my style? Typically, no. I'm far more laid back and conservative. But I had an idea. I said, when you have a situation where you get a lot of people coming together and there's a lot of mutual respect and a lot of shared love, quite frankly, for one another, and a lot of helping as everyone goes through in their lives up and downs, sometimes people don't just get appreciated. So I said to Keith, I said, I want to do something special. Could you design a hoodie for me? And I've bought 27 of them. And that hoodie is dedicated to Tim Logan and the Logan family and the tailgate that we call Logan Lunatics. Now, the key to this is very funny in that when we got together, when we got our first set of tickets, we were in the 700 level of the Vet. The 700 level of Vet Stadium in Philadelphia, that's where a lot of the fights were. And that's why the Vet ultimately put a magistrate and a jail in the bottom of the stadium. And that was for the people, of course, none of us ever wound up visiting the magistrate. However, we know people that did. But the point there is this hoodie, which I stand up, forgive me, is Logan's Lunatics. The reason it's that way is that's the link. Both logos are because some guys like the old logo, some guys like the new. And we wanted to set us up differently than anyone else. So I'm going to hold up what the back of this hoodie looks like. Of course, I had him do a t-shirt for me as well. And that says, straight out of the 700 level, on top of that stadium. Now, that's not the point. The continuity of the friendship, the continuity of the relationships, that's important. But what's important really is that giving the recognition when you see somebody or you get to know somebody, even if you have absolutely nothing in common, and you come together, you always show that appreciation. Whether it is in your personal life, whether it is in your professional life, or if the two carry over, if even sometimes on a casual level. The reason I did these hoodies is because we wanted to do something to recognize Tim, but most importantly, to recognize that camaraderie we had developed over these 191 tailgates. And quite frankly, with Keith Wardrow's creativity, I took a flyer. I said, you know what, Keith? Can you help me do this? He turned these designs around in 24 hours. He's amazing. So I have to do a shout out to him for that because he's a young man. He's a young entrepreneur. He's gone out on a limb to try and do something different and special and provide a tribute to the team he loves and make a little money on the side. And he's doing a phenomenal job. But the real thing here is that I wanted to impress upon is when you find someone who you really appreciate, who you get to love the relationship, and you see the good things that they do for everyone around them, asking for nothing in return, expecting nothing in return, and always bending over and going the extra mile and never stopping to do what is right, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what's going on, even if sometimes they may go off quietly to the side and take a breath because they're exhausted. When you know someone like that, say thank you. Reach out and do something that's from your heart that you can just say thank you to that individual. Because you know what? A lot of people forget to do that. And when you're in the business world, no matter what your role, and something goes right, or something even importantly goes wrong, you know what? That didn't work out. Like an Eagles loss. That didn't work out so well. There's a lot of reasons that we could sit back and talk about why it didn't work out. But did we learn something? And you know what? Thank you for your effort. Thank you for stepping up and trying to make this the perfect opportunity, the greatest success we could possibly ask for. Thank you for doing that. We made a mistake. We learned from that mistake. Let's move on. That's what's missing all too often today. We fail to recognize that every person we meet, no matter who they are, whether it's Tim in running our tailgate or the other guys that are and gals that are always at our tailgate, whether it's Ross on this video, whether it is Keith making that sweatshirt for me, that design that is so unique and tells such a story for those of us involved, or whether it's even myself sitting here talking to you today. Everyone makes a difference. Everyone can have a positive impact when facing adversity, when having a difficult day, even when things are going great for us and not for someone else. Reaching out, putting your arm around them, giving them a hug, or just saying, hey, how can I help you? That's what life's all about. That's what life's about for me personally. And frankly, it's what life's about for me professionally. I think that no matter what the situation is, no matter who we're dealing with, no matter what adversity is placed in front of us, there's always a positive side. There's always something we can learn. Not to be cliche, but you can't succeed unless you fail. And quite frankly, you can't succeed unless you help others who have failed and help them stand up again. That's what it's all about. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if you have nothing in common, because we all have one thing in common, and that is we're all trying to make a difference for ourselves, for our families, for our clients, for whomever. We all want to be remembered one way or another. The best way to make a difference, the best way to be remembered, is to help others, is to reach out. And when they do something great, recognize them. Tell them thank you. Celebrate their success. Call Keith, design a hoodie. Who knows? And really figure out how can you help them realize that no matter what they're facing, no matter what is going on in their lives, no matter who has been nasty to them or stood in their way or tried to undermine them, let's face it, that happens every day. It doesn't matter. What matters is no matter who they are, no matter what they do, they can and will make a difference if they believe. And in order for them to do that, you have to show them that other people believe in them like you. So the lesson, I guess, that I'm trying to say is relationships are important. Owning those relationships are important. Appreciating the little things and recognizing and saying thank you. Doing a gesture like a hoodie for the Logan's Lunatics like we did, straight out of the 700 level. Striking up a relationship with Keith, who lives 145 miles from me, who I met in an Eagles parking lot as he was hucking his wares that he had taken great pains to design because he wanted to do something different than anyone else has provided as all of these vendors go through tailgates in these games. And saying, you know what? This guy's trying. I'm an entrepreneur. He's trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to do something that showcases his efforts, that says, you know what, Keith? You're doing a great thing. You're doing a great job. Are all of them my cup of tea, for want of a better term? Designs that I may or may not take? No, but his efforts were extraordinary. And I have to look at him as I look at Tim in our tailgate. I look at the other guys we're with, or I even look at Ross and say, we all have challenges. We all have journeys that we embark in our lives, and they take us in many different directions. And we all come from different backgrounds, different shapes, different sizes. It doesn't matter. But what does matter is each of us can make a difference. And it's the greatest feeling in the world when someone recognizes that you can make a difference. And let me stand corrected. It's even a greater feeling when you stop and take the time and you point a finger at and you pat someone on the back and say, thank you. You've made a difference for me, or you made a difference for these folks or in your life. And I applaud you for that. And that's when I want to focus on relationships. That's how I look at it. It's not about what's in it for me. It's not about what's in it for my business. It's about helping people and paying it forward. And on the personal side as well, recognizing no matter who you're dealing with, everyone has a journey. Every journey has its up and downs. Everyone faces adversity. And everyone can use that positive affirmation that they can and will make a difference as long as they believe and they focus on doing what is right. Thank you.